Hello everyone, welcome to It's All About Education channel. In the previous videos we learned C++, Introduction to C++ Part 1. In that we learned what do you mean by program and what do you mean by programming language, history of C++, as well as characteristics of C++. So in this video we are going to continue our session, and in this video we are going to learn C++ programming elements. Fine. So without wasting our time, let's begin. So C++ programming elements. So the first element is character set. So what do you mean by character set? It is a set of valid characters like your alphabet, that is capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, all the print letters in capital letters, and then your digits, that is 0 to 9. And meaning 2 digits are all the combination of digits from 0 to 9, right? So digits and special characters like your hash, semicolon, colon, plus, minus, all those are your special characters, right? So what is a character set? It is a set of valid characters like alphabet, digits and special characters. So alphabets include capital letters and small letters. Digits include 0 to 9. Numbers and your special characters which are in your keyword, suppose your hash or semicolon or plus or minus or something like that. Fine, those are all your special characters. So character set, it is a set of valid characters like alphabet, digits and special characters. Fine. Yeah. So next, coming to C++ tokens. So what are C++ tokens? So the smallest individual unit in a program is known as C++ token. So what is a C++ token? It is the smallest individual unit in a program. Fine. So it has 6 types in it. Our C++ token, it has 6 types in it. So let us see what are those. So those are your keywords, identifiers, variables, constants, punctuators and operators. These are the 6 types of C++ tokens. Once again, so C++ token, it is a smallest individual unit in a program. It has 6 types in it. Those are nothing but your keywords, identifiers, variables, constant, punctuators and operators. Fine. So now let us learn all these one by one. So keywords. So what is a keyword? So keyword, it is a predefined word. It is a predefined word with definite meaning, with a definite meaning. So keyword, it is a predefined word with a definite meaning. And its meaning cannot be changed since it's already predefined and it already has a definite meaning. And those words and the meaning of those words, like they cannot be changed. Fine. Example, your int, float, char, break, continue, all these are your keywords, so which we would be learning in the further sessions. So suppose one data type, I'll be explaining you one keyword, so it's also a keyword and data type. So int, let's learn what's int for now, for our understanding. So int, what is int? It is integer, means it is a data type which accepts only integers, only whole number types it can accept. Fine. So int, it is a keyword used and its meaning cannot be changed. Int means integer, that's all. It is only whole numbers. It won't take your float numbers. Float numbers are nothing but your decimal numbers. Fine. So it won't take any other like values other than your whole numbers or integers. Fine. So this is fixed. Fine. It is a definite meaning. It has a definite meaning. It's predefined word and its meaning cannot be changed. Fine. Its meaning cannot be changed. Next, we are going to identifiers. So what are identifiers and where are they used? So identifiers, so it is a name given to various programming elements such as your variables, functions, structures and arrays. So functions, structures, arrays, all these will be learning in the further sessions. So for now, let's take an example of a variable. So it is a name given to various programming elements, fine, such as your variables or functions or structures or arrays, like that, fine. So here let's take an example of a variable. So int, we know what is int, right? It is a data type. It accepts only whole numbers, right? It does not accept any other value other than your whole numbers or integers. Fine, so here let's use this int a. A is the variable and it is the name given to the variable. So that is an identifier here. So we have certain rules to be followed while creating the identifiers. So let's see them so that it would be more clear to understand. So first rule is first character of an identifier, it should begin with an alphabet or underscore. Fine. So the first character of an identifier. So identifier, you're giving the name, right? You're giving the name to various programming elements such as variables. Here we are going to take the examples of variables only. Fine, so that we would understand it easy. It would be easy to understand. So first rule is the first character of an identifier should always begin with an alphabet or an underscore. So example is given here. So this is variable int. Int is a data type. Remember, int is a data type. Means it accepts only your whole numbers, and a is the variable. A is the variable in which you are storing the value. Fine. So suppose you think int is your int is the data type, and the value which I am giving to int, let it be 2. So where are you storing your 2? In a. So a is a variable. It is an identifier. Fine. Hope now it's clear. So int is a data type, and I'm going to give the value for int, like suppose take 2. Fine. 2 is the value I'm giving for int, and where am I storing that value? It's in my variable. Fine. So that is nothing but your a. So that becomes my identifier. Fine. So the first rule says first character of an identifier, it should always begin with an alphabet or an underscore. So here in the examples, I've given 3 examples, out of which 2 are valid and 1 is invalid, right? So int a, int space, right? Space we are giving. That means there is an end of the data type. And a is our identifier. It's a variable, it's an identifier. Here variable is nothing but your identifier. Fine. So int a, semicolon. So semicolon is a must for every expression, for every like C++ program we write, for every statement semicolon is compulsory. So semicolon, it is also known as your statement terminator. So this we would be learning under the topic of punctuators in the same course, in the same chapter itself. Fine. So int a, so that is valid. Semicolon is very important since it is a statement terminator. Means you're telling that int a, that's all. For int, you're giving only one variable, that is your identifier, that is a. That ends your statement there. Fine. In the further sessions where we'll be writing the programs, you'll have a clear picture as to why this semicolon is important. Fine. So the second example also I've given, right? That is int underscore a. So the rule says it should either begin with an alphabet or an underscore. So here instead of space I'm giving underscore, I say a. So that becomes my identifier. Fine. Those 2 examples are valid. Suppose on the right hand side you can see int exclamation mark a, exclamatory mark I've used there, right? Int exclamatory mark a, semicolon. So that is not valid, right? That is not an identifier because semicolon should not be used as the first character of an identifier. Either it can be an alphabet directly, or it can begin with your underscore. But it should never begin with any exclamation mark or any hash symbol. Fine? So those are all invalid for identifiers. Fine? For identifiers, that becomes invalid. Fine? Next rule is both uppercase and lowercase can be used. Fine? This is very easy to understand. Int, suppose in the previous example I have used small letter a, here I am using capital letter A. That's all. You can use both. It can be either lowercase or uppercase, but the first character should always be an alphabet, or it should be an underscore. Fine? So this is our valid example. Fine. So next rule is keywords should not be used as identifiers. So keywords, they should never be used as identifiers. So what is a keyword now? A quick glance. Keyword, it is a predefined word with definite meaning, right? And the meaning of the keyword, it cannot be changed. And here, keywords, they say that keywords, it should not be used as identifiers. So, because int is a data type, right? It is a keyword. So when I give int as a variable, it does not, the compiler does not accept int as a variable, but it takes as the data type, and it will show you an error. Fine? Since it is an invalid expression, you can't take int semicolon. That is wrong. That is invalid, because keywords, they should never be used as identifiers. Fine? Our next rule is no special characters are allowed except your underscore. As I already said you, no special characters must be allowed. Only underscore can be allowed. That's all. So you can see those examples there, which is valid and which is invalid. You can easily say, suppose you have to give some space between the variables, you can use the underscore, but you should never use any other special characters except underscore for identifiers. Fine? Next, blank spaces are not used in identifiers. So next rule says that blank spaces are not used. As I already said in the previous point itself, underscore can be used to give space, but blank space should not be used while creating your identifiers. So here the example says int m space 1 semicolon. So that is invalid because there is a space between m and 1, right? That is invalid. But for valid example, it's int space for a data type. So int is a data type space m1. Together I write without any space, that is valid. Or else I can write m underscore 1. That is also valid. But m space 1, it is an invalid example. And for every statement, every expression, semicolon is a must because it's a statement terminator. These are the points which we have to keep in our mind while creating the identifiers. And also the semicolon part, which is very, very, very important while writing a program. Fine? Coming to our next topic, next token, next C++ token is variable. So till now we have discussed that this is a data type, this is a variable. Now what actually variable means? So variable, it is an element which holds the value. The value can be changed during the execution of the program. Now I said you, right? So variable, I have already given you an example for it. Int a. Suppose I give the value for int as 2, right? Where am I storing that value? In a. So a becomes my variable. It is an element which holds the value. So what a is holding? My value. It is an integer type value, that is 2, since we have used the data type int. Fine? So variable, it is nothing but the element which holds the value, and the value, it can be changed during the execution of the program. Fine. So for this, syntax is given. So syntax is nothing but the grammar which is to be followed while writing a statement, while writing your C++ program. So that is nothing but your syntax. It shows you the way how to write. Right, suppose I'm having variable. So variable, how do I write my variable? If I write a semicolon, it does not take, because it don't know what it is, it don't know what type it holds, right? So syntax is data type space variable name. Fine. Data type has to be written, space it should be given, and then variable name should be given. So example I've given you, int a semicolon, int space a semicolon, right? So here a is my variable, and suppose I have to give two variables. That is also possible by using comma. So again, all this you'll be learning in the punctuators session. Fine. So int a comma b, I'm separating the variables. So here a and b are my variables with the statement terminator semicolon. Fine. Next coming to constants. Constant, it is also known as literals. Fine. So what are constants now? We know variables. Now coming to the constants. Constants are nothing but they also hold the value. They are fixed value, but here they are fixed. Fine. So the constants are fixed value and the value does not change during the execution of the program. Fine. So constants, they are the fixed value and the value does not change during the execution of the program. But for variable, the value, it can be changed during the execution of the program, because the value for a variable, it's not fixed. But for constant, what happens? It has a fixed value. So the value, it does not change during the execution of the program. Fine. Again, our constant is further divided into two types, that is numeric constant and non-numeric constant. So the constant can be anything. In my variable, I can say a character for instance, like a. So a is my value, I think. Fine. A is my value and I have to store it in a variable. I'll take the variable something like f. Fine. So what f is holding? My constant. I'll write const space int, not int, char is used there. Fine. Char, again, it's a data type. Now we'll be learning all those. Fine. So a is my constant value, and during the execution of the program I cannot change the value. My f value would be a only. I cannot change it during the execution of the program. I'll have to again come back. I have to change it in the program again and then execute. But for variable, it's not like that. The value can be changed during the execution of the program. Fine. So in numeric part, again, it's divided into two types, integer and float. Now integer, I have already said you, it's int. For float, it's float itself, the keyword does not change. So integer, it takes only whole numbers, it does not take any decimal values. Float, it takes decimal values only. So now let us learn one by one all these things in detail. First, coming to our integer constant. So what is my integer constant? So it consists the sequence of digits without a decimal point. I already said you, integer, it takes only whole numbers. It does not take any sequence of digits with a decimal point. It does not take. With a decimal point, if decimal point is there, it does not take at all. It only takes the whole number. Suppose I give the decimal point, you think. What does it do then? It does not show you error. It does not say anything. It says int. I'll give the value something like 2.5. Fine. So what does it do? It converts. Again, there comes another concept called implicit and explicit conversion. So there you'll be learning this again. So 2.5 if I'll give for integer, it takes it as 2, that's all. The 0.5 is left as it is. The rest is left as it is. It does not consider. It takes only the whole number part. Fine. It consists a sequence of digits without a decimal point. And in decimal constant, again, we are having 4 types. Right? So here in the chart I have shown you. In integer, it has decimal, octal, hexadecimal and unsigned. So let us see all those. So what is a decimal constant? So decimal constant is nothing but it consists of combination of digits from 0 to 9 with positive or negative sign. Fine. It consists the combination of digits from 0 to 9. Decimal means 10, right? So 0 to 9, how many digits you are having? 10, right? When you count from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 digits here. So it is a decimal set. We can say it has 10 digits, right? So it's a decimal constant. That is combination of digits from 0 to 9 with it can either be positive sign or negative sign. So in the example I have mentioned you, const is the keyword which is used for constant, int for integer. So const space int space a is equal to, you're fixing the value here itself, you are initializing the value here itself. So always initialization is done from right to left. That is a is equal to 5, I say. So 5, this 5 value what is there is storing this in a, in a variable called a. Fine. So const space int space a is equal to 5 semicolon. Similarly, you can give b value as -5 because it says it is the combination of digits from 0 to 9 with positive or negative sign. It can be both positive or negative sign. Fine. So second type is our octal constant. So what is octal constant? Oct means 8. Means it consists 8 digits. So it consists of combination of digits from 0 to 7, but the first digit must be 0. Now 0 to 7, these digits come in decimal also, because decimal is the combination of digits from 0 to 9. Now how will the compiler understand that the constant which we gave is octal? So for that sake, the first digit must be 0. So let's see the example for this. So const space int space a is equal to 0 to 5. So when I give 0 as the first digit, fine, when I give 0 as the first digit, the compiler understands that the given constant value is an octal constant, right? So that's how the compiler identifies. Third type is hexadecimal constant. It consists of combination of digits from 0 to 9 and a to f. So in hexadecimal, hexa means 16, hexadecimal, right? Decimal is 10, hexa means 6. So both together, when you add 10 plus 6, it's nothing but your 16, right? So hexadecimal constant consists of combination of digits from 0 to 9. We have digits from 0 to 9 only. Remaining all the numbers which we write are the combination of digits from 0 to 9, right? There are no other digits other than 0 to 9. So for that sake, since it's a hexadecimal, so 0 to 9 it's decimal, right? Because there are 10. And from A to F, so numbers are all over. So we are going to consider alphabet, A to F, right? But it must start with 0x. 0x. Fine. For the compiler to understand that the given constant is a hexadecimal constant, we are going to use this 0x. Fine. The example, so here now many of us get a doubt. Now a means what number does it take? So after 9, it's a, right? After 9, usually what we write 10, right? So a value is 10. B value is 11, and so till F value is 15. There it has balanced totally hexadecimal. Fine. So the example for it is const space int space a is equal to 0x and there's no gap between 15f, sorry 15, it's 15f, that's all, and statement terminator. Fine. Fourth type, we are having unsigned constant. It consists of digits of unsigned, that's all. They are not either plus, they are not minus also. They are not signed, that's all. It does not have any sign. Example is const space int space a space, a is equal to, your initializing the value 65u. So how does the computer understand it's unsigned? You will be writing u at the end, that's all. U means unsigned, that's all. Fine. The second type in numeric part is float or real constant. Float or a real constant. So what do you mean by float? I already said it has a sequence of digits with decimal point. This does not have decimal point, is integer. It's int. Here float means it has a sequence of digits with decimal point. Fine. It is also known as real constant. Fine. So in that first type, again it's classified into two types. So first type is real with exponent. Real is nothing but your float with exponent. So how do you write numbers with exponent in C++ programming? So it is used to represent the numbers using exponential notation, exponent notation. So in the example, 5.6 into 10 power minus 2. So how do you write this? You don't have any superscript, subscript, anything in your C++ compiler. So how do you write this? So 5.6 into 10 power minus 2. It can be written as const space float space a is the variable is equal to is initializing symbol 5.6 e stands for exponent and there's a hyphen 2. Sorry, it's not hyphen, it's minus 2, right? So 10 to the power of minus 2 it says. So e is exponent and this is minus 2. It says that minus 2 is raised. Fine. So here another point to be noted is 5.6, right? The number, the value before the e, before the exponent notation is known as mantissa. It is known as mantissa. And after e, that minus 2 what we are seeing is called as exponent. And finally the semicolon, your statement terminator. Fine. So next, second type, we are having real without exponent. Without exponent means it doesn't have any exponent, it's not a complex number. So it is as normal as, it is same as normal real number. It is same as normal real number with decimal point, that's all. Normal float constants. Fine. Example, const space float space a is equal to 3.142. Right, it's pi value, right? So it has a decimal point. That's all. It does not have any exponential notation. So it's real without exponent. So that's all for now. That's all for this session. So let's meet in the next session with further new concepts. So thank you. Hope this video helped you. For any doubts, can be posted in the comment section. And please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.